chapter a day. Happy Thursday. I pray you're having a wonderful day. It's beautiful weather outside, on this side at least, so I pray it's the same on your side. Now today we'll be reading 1 Samuel chapter 27. Yesterday we encountered David, or rather read about David encountering Saul and his soldiers fast asleep in a cave, and David took away the king's spear and his water bolster. Although his servants wanted to kill Saul, David told them no, he's still holding fast. Saul is God's anointed, and God will take care of Saul in his own time. So again, once he alerted Saul and Saul's captain Abner as to what was going on, again Saul seemed apologetic. He blessed David in words, and let's see what happens now. Chapter 27. And David said in his heart, I shall perish now one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than I should speedily escape into the land of the Philistines, and Saul shall despair of me. And Saul shall despair of me to seek me any more in any coast of Israel. So shall I escape out of his hand. And David arose, and he passed over with the 600 men that were with him unto Achish, the son of Maach, king of Gath. And David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the Carmelitess, Nabal's wife. And it was told Saul that David was fled to Gath, and he sought no more again for him. And David said unto Achish, If I have now found grace in thine eyes, let them give me a place in some town in the country, that I may dwell there. For why should thy servant dwell in the royal city with thee? Wow, so David has taken a kind of a large leap. He has decided, you know what, Saul's going to just kill me one day if I don't do something drastic to escape from him. So his decision was to go to the Philistines. And remember, just recently we read where he did that. And the king of the Philistines in Gath, which is where David's slaying of the giant, that giant, he was from Gath. So these are their enemies, truthfully. The Philistines were always the Israelites' enemy. But David is thinking, if I go there, maybe Saul will stop pursuing me, because now he won't want to come out there where the enemy camp is. So he might leave me alone. That's David's thinking. So the first time he tried hiding there, the king of Achish says, isn't this David who just slew, the Philistines? And they talked about how many tens of thousands he slew. And David was playing mad. He started to pretend like he was insane, because he didn't want the king of Achish to suspect him that he wasn't, he wasn't in his right mind. So why is he coming here to the Philistines? So again, apparently he goes this time, and let's see what happens. Verse 6. Then Achish gave him Ziklag that day, wherefore Ziklag pertaineth unto the kings of Judah unto this day. And the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. And David and his men went up and invaded the Geshurites and the Gezrites and the Amalekites, for those nations were of old the inhabitants of the land, as thou goest to Shur, even unto the land of Egypt. And David smote the land, and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep and the oxen and the asses and the camels and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. And Achish said, Whither have you made a road today? And David said, Against the south of Judah, and against the south of the Jerahmeelites, and against the south of the Kenites. So David is telling lies. And David saved neither man nor woman alive to bring tidings to Gath, saying, Lest they should tell on us, saying, So did David, and so will be this his manner all the while he dwelleth in the country of the Philistines. And Achish believed David, saying, He hath made his people Israel utterly to abhor him. Therefore he shall be my servant forever. Wow, that's the end of the chapter. Very short chapter today. So David has gone over to the Philistines, not as an ally really, but just to hide, hoping that Saul will leave him alone. Saul did hear David was over in Gath, and he didn't pursue him. So I don't know if David's plan is really working. But the king of Gath, whose name is Achish, seems to believe that David is no longer working with the Israelites. But when David goes out to war, he's battling against those enemies, like the Israelite enemies, which would be the allies of the Philistines. And then he kills everybody. So nobody can come back to say, hey, David was here raiding our city. You better watch out for him, because he's not a friend of you all. So David took everything away, and he left no one to tell the story. So, you know what they say, dead men tell no tales. So that's what David was doing. And then when he went back to Achish, the king would ask him, hey, what you did today? And he would tell him he raided other cities, more of which belonged to the Israelites. So he's deceiving the king of the Philistines, and I can't understand why the king is falling for it, but maybe God again, because of God's favor, he's believing David, because David just needs to get away from Saul. Wow, a man on the run. It's horrible. It's terrible that he's doing all these deceptions, and my gosh, mercy. But that's the end of our reading of chapter 27 of 1 Samuel today. And wow, we will see how this whole story of David unfolds, and Saul too. God have mercy. I don't know how many of us may be in a position like David, where we're just running for our lives and we don't know where to go, that we end up turning to an enemy to help us. Imagine that. Turning to an enemy as a friend. And you still have to hide. You can't be real with the enemy, because, oh, God only knows, like I said. So, I hope and pray you keep listening. Remember, faith does come by hearing God's word. So, until then, be alert.